I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
We are back to we are in the last 10 before the top 10.
Yeah, that would be called the top 20.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I like my top 10 so much that if my top 20 so much that if my top 10 disappeared, this could easily be my top 10 and it wouldn't bother me one whit.
I don't know. I said last time that it was going to get good at the top 20, but compared to the top 10, these 10 are garbage.
Wait, we're going to do the same shtick as the last one?
Yes. No, these are fantastic games, and in fact, a lot of these games, or several of them anyway, have been in my top 10.
None of them have been in my top 10. These have all kind of hovered around the teens and the 20s. But I do have 1, 2, 3 new games in the top 20, in the 11 through 20, and then I've got one really big step up.
All right, yeah, same here. I got one step up, that's it. Some moving around of these games. Some have dropped out of the top 10, but again, that's not like an indictment on the game.
Yeah.
That's just more for the games that moved up, I think, more than anything else. For People's Choice, your final new one will be in this one. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But here we go, starting with number 20. All right, my number 20 was number 6 last year. So
There you go.
what?
That's going to happen to me a couple of times.
Well, here's the thing. I still love this game a lot, and it's the biggest game I own. I just don't play it as much, so I can put it in my top 10 because I just don't get it set up as much. Although I'm planning to play it at least twice before the year's over.
But you have to take it down again and build it back up.
Yes, Heroescape.
Between those two plays, you have to do that. Even if they're back-to-back.
Hang on, guys. All right, now let's build it again. Well, no, I love Heroescape. It's kind of weird to me now. Every once in a while, I'll meet somebody. They'll come up to this convention. They'll be like, "Yeah, we watched a review of Heroescape when I was a kid, and I loved the game." And I'm thinking,
You were a kid?
You were a kid when Heroescape, but it's been a while since it's been out. But and it's one of those games where we're going to talk about. Or people will talk about it in 10 years and be like, oh, man, when I was a kid, there was Heroescape. It was the best thing ever. But I really like that's the one game I think I have everything for, even like all the weird promos and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, but I just like it. I like the whole fighting, and I like how simple it is. So we're just not going to see it again, I think, because plastic is so expensive now, and that terrain is a good chunk of why I like the game. I mean, if it played on a flat board, the Magic the Gathering board game, it's good, but not as good. So,
I recently just played this like maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, and it was solidified why it's not on my top 100.
You said it was because you didn't like putting it together.
Not just that. I had nothing to do with putting it together and tearing it down. My son's asked to play it, and so I was like, okay, if you want to, go ahead, put it together, and we'll do it.
Did you use my stuff?
No, I used my own stuff.
Oh,
but
man.
Still,
That's
it was... Why. No, that's not why. You were talking about how simple it is. It's too simple. Because even my sons who were asking to play it were saying how, this is kind of dumb. I mean,
wait a minute.
We were still having
the same simplicity as this. They're like exactly the same level of simplicity.
I would disagree.
You're right. I'm probably wrong. Tannhauser, I think, is simpler than Heroescape.
I don't agree with that at all. But I mean,
it's true though. If you look it up,
to each their own.
The famous reviewer Tom Vassell has said so.
Wow.
All right, what's your number 20?
Hashtag toot your own horn. My number 20 is my big resurgence. It was on my list last year. It actually held 2 spots on my list last year. Because I
am
am
so big.
No,
it's TI4 when you turn it sideways.
I split them apart because there were 2 versions of basically the same game, and that is Star Realms or Hero Realms.
And you had put both on your list last year?
Yes, and this year I'm combining them into
hypocrite.
My number 20. And the reason I'm doing that is because they are at the point now, each game has evolved to almost the same place as far as what the game offers you, how many different ways you can play the game, the fact that you can have variable player powers, all of that. Both games are pretty much the same. It's just one is a sci-fi theme and the other one is a fantasy theme. And they're both at the same spot right now, and I like them both equally. I used to like Hero Realms a little bit better. It was at number 30, and Star Realms had slipped to number 92 last year. But they're both so similar now that I can't validate splitting them apart anymore. They're basically the same game, just different skins on them, because of everything they have to offer is so similar. And I like the fact that they have given you so many different ways to play the game without changing how the game is played in its foundational principles. So I really do enjoy these two games, but they really are the same, just two different skins. My number 20, Star Realms or Hero Realms. You take your pick.
I'll pick Star Realms.
All right, my number 20 is was 16 last time, so it's holding on to about the same spot. This is Sentient, which I thought was a really fun, puzzly.
Wow, I thought this might be a flash in the pan, but it's staying pretty high.
Yeah, it's really fun. I played this at the last convention we were at, actually. I taught it, played it. I really, really like this game. It's straightforward. It's easy to teach. The manipulation aspect, i.e. the puzzle aspect of it, I still find to be approachable, fairly easy to understand and manipulate, but fascinating in many ways. I love playing a card that you are drafting from the ones available, and then that card is going to affect the 2 dice around that card. However, that die on the right of that card is also adjacent to the left side of the next card, also affected by that corner on that card. And you're trying to just make sure that everything is, the numbers are what you need it to be in order to satisfy some scoring condition on that card. That sounds very straightforward. It is pretty straightforward, but manipulating it all is just very attractive to me. I like puzzly games. And this one is quick. There's a little area of majority control going on where the drafting happens. You got your own board, you're scoring. Yeah, there's things I don't like about it. The theme is irrelevant. It's barely there. Artwork is nice, but there's about 6 pieces of artwork in it, and that's it. But the game's core is that strong to me where I'll play this just about any time. I find it amazing. So, my number 20, Sentient.
All right, your number 20 was as high as number 2 at one point, and that is King of Tokyo. It was 14 last year, 7 the year before, 3, then 2, so it's slowly coming down. But again, that's because I think, it's been out for a really long time. Yep. They are charging life into it by releasing a new monster a year and stuff. But I mean, I don't. It's still very popular. Still a game a lot of people like playing. King of New York, I don't think hit the People's Choice Top 100 even remotely. I don't see it anywhere. But I also don't see it sold in stores either, hardly at all. King of New York came and was gone. King of Tokyo seems to have pulled ahead. In fact, I mean, most of the time sequels don't do as well as the original game.
Right.
I'm trying to think of any at all, but there's probably something somewhere.
TI 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, but those are more, I consider those more of a replacement for the original game. They don't continue to sell all 4 of them. If they did, I would buy TI 1 with the cardboard. Yeah. All right, anyway, King of Tokyo, you're number 20. My number 19 is a game that was number 7 last year. So that's 2 to the 6 and 7 dropped down. Same thing, I think I don't play. This one was actually 7 3 years in a row. But I still really like it, although it's a sequel once I play it, and I'm hoping to get that by the beginning of next year. Starcadia Quest, I will like it a lot. Arcadia Quest. Still very high for me though. Still really enjoy this game. I like the pets. I like the riders. It's just silly fun. And again, Heroescape and Arcadia Quest almost occupy a very similar spot for me. They're just, you go in there, you're rolling and smashing up your opponents, you have different special abilities, and I like that lightness, I don't know that I'm really opposed to games that are too light sometimes. You mentioned that with Heroescape. I kind of like that lightness a lot of times. We were playing a game the other day, me and Z, and we had to look up a chart when you rolled a D20. And I automatically was like, oh man, a chart. Sometimes I just want to roll the dice and be like, I know I hit you. you know, rather than look at the chart or whatever. I mean, it wasn't a complicated chart, but it just, I'm not opposed to more complex games like that, but sometimes I just want to be simple, and I think Arcadia Quest has that simplicity. Also has great models. That doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
So, and exploding dice.
That I do like that.
Yeah, that's a cool aspect of them. All right, my number 19 was number 22 last year, and this one is, you know, right around the teens and 20s. Usually, it's probably going to stay there. It's one of my favorite dice rolling games that's out there, purely dice rolling, and that is Bang the Dice Game. It is.
What was it last year you said?
22.
Oh, okay. Wow, it went up a bit.
Yeah, it came up a little bit. It's just, you know, that not really nostalgia effect, not the nostalgia effect, it was just the commonality that it brings. How easy it is to play the game. It's easy to teach now because I've played it so much. And I really can just kind of streamline the rules for people when I'm teaching the game because I know them so well. So that helps it hit the table a little bit easier, and people are able to see if they really enjoy it and ingratiate themselves to it a little bit easier because they understand the rules better. So I just really enjoy the game. I love all the different roles that you have, as far as, you know, being the sheriff or being a deputy or being an outlaw or anything like that. But on top of that, you also have player powers based upon, you know, what a character you pick within the game. So just everything that I like about dice rolling games and games in general is kind of rolled up into this little package. So Bang the Dice Game, my number 19.
Yeah, and it's also a good bingo entry. If you want to, like, if we go through a top 10, will Bang the Dice Game show up? It might.
It will, probably. If it fits.
Favorite epic game?
The shoe fits.
Bang the Dice Game.
Wear it.
My number 19 is San Juan. And San Juan is a game I've had for many, many years. It was one of my first non-party, non-big box store games. So, funny enough, I keep flip-flopping between San Juan and Race for the Galaxy. Race for the Galaxy actually dropped off my list. And still interesting, it was last time the same number, 19. That was a coincidence. Race for the Galaxy was 19 last time. San Juan is 19
But
this
Race
time.
dropped off completely?
Yeah, it's like 106 or something. And San Juan was 40 last time. I guess I decided to just put one on the list. I must have, every time I looked at Race for the Galaxy to rank it, I went, well, San Juan's right there. It just keeps on dropping. They are similar. They are based on the same concept. They're not as close as, like, say, Star Realms and Hero Realms. They are, you know, they came from different designers, but they are based on a core, on the same core idea. I've just played more San Juan lately. And I still appreciate, I think San Juan honestly has aged a little bit better. I find it to be simpler to play. It's easier to teach. It's less.
Oh, wait, I can't argue that one.
It's harder to.
Sorry.
It has a much easier, barrier of entry. I just enjoy it. It just hits the table more because I can play it more, you know, and I enjoy my time with it just as much as I do with Race for the Galaxy. The new San Juan has an expansion built in, which was actually good. You know, Race for the Galaxy kept not really hitting with the expansions. So I got this big box of Race for the Galaxy with expansions I usually don't want to mix in. You know, it just that's how that worked out. But anyway, San Juan I think is a fantastic card game based, of course, on the Puerto Rico big box. And I like this better than that. I know a lot of people don't. That's okay. I like the simplicity of this a little bit better. And I think I'm just liking it more than Race for the Galaxy these days. So 19 for me, San Juan.
I like San Juan. It's just that every time I play it, I think I could be playing Race for the Galaxy. I really do. You know, it feels like a better game to me. It's more robust, which is the opposite of what I was just saying about Heroescape and all. But
yeah.
I like that little bit of extra complexity, I guess.
Yeah, because simple games, you know. Ugh.
All right, your number 19, which was 16 last year, flies in the face of Z's disdain for this game, and that's Lords of Waterdeep.
I like Lords of Waterdeep. I don't.
Oh, I was like, did I miss these last sections?
That was very good, you know, shielding. That was.
Lords of Waterdeep is not a very good game.
Huh. So this is the 7th year in a row this has been on this list. It's been as high as number 4, and the game hasn't been even in print for like a while.
Oh, really? I thought that game was in print.
Maybe.
Always, like pretty much.
Wait, so it's not a good game, but it's still in print? Wait, that's actually a bad argument. I retract that. I apologize.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that avenue.
Yeah, I really don't.
100 years worth of games.
Sorry.
You're problematic.
Oh, Monopoly's a good. Okay, anyhow.
It might be a good game. I don't like it. How about that? That's what I mean when I say it's not a good game.
But
for me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Again, it's another one though that I still every once in a while I see people playing it at the stores. It has that.
Well, it's got the D&D draw to it, and
I think it's like the D&D, like it's like the hey D&D player, you want to play a board game?
Right.
And you hook them in,
Exactly.
and then they're like, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's not maybe what they expected, but it's.
Yeah. I don't dislike the game. I just like another game better than it, and that other game replaced it for me. That's all.
Oh, I wonder what that is. All right, so you're number 19, Lords of Waterdeep. My number 18 was 16 last year, so about the same position. And yes, I like this better than my number 23, which was Blood Rage. But as you can see, they're really close, and that's Rising Sun. They're both really close for me. But if I pick one to play, I'll pick Rising Sun. And the reason for that is I think the combat system in Rising Sun is really fascinating. And I like the action selection mechanism almost more than drafting, which is weird because I love drafting, but I love that whole pick an action and everyone takes it, but you might get a bonus.
Well, it is drafting meets like Puerto Rico action selection. I mean,
that's what I was just thinking about how similar drafting is to action selection. Because in Blood Rage, when you draft your cards, you are essentially selecting what actions you're going to use throughout the course of that.
Sure, but you're also picking combat cards and things.
No, yeah, you are. But the drafting translates to what actions are you going to take during the course of the age.
Well, I think that's every drafting game.
Not necessarily.
One drafting game does not translate to you taking an action with that card.
Fairy Tale, you just play the cards, you're just scoring.
You took an action of playing a card. I mean, it's like, come on.
Well, now you're like taking it to
I'm just saying that is you basically saying, okay, that's basically you saying, okay, we are going to recruit this round, so I'm going to put my little worker on recruit. The difference is you have to draw 3 from the top, and recruit might not be in there. You are drafting from the top 3 things.
Sure.
But everybody does it. It's Puerto Rico.
But if someone came to me and said, I love drafting games, I don't know that I'd be like, well, Rising Sun is up your alley then.
No.
Okay. Well, anyhow, the bits don't hurt either.
They're okay.
The Rising Sun stuff is like it's probably the second best bits I've ever seen in the game.
What would be number 1?
Wow.
Lords of Waterdeep.
Wow, I cannot believe you would
Lords of Waterdeep.
Next in Millions over Rising Sun. That is just,
I like the theming of it.
That's criminal.
I like the different. I think the differences in the clans is also something I really like too.
Sorry.
Blood Rage has differences when it comes to, like, as Blood Rage, you grow your differences over the course of the game, how I'm different than your clan.
Yes.
Rising Sun, I start with this cool power that maybe no one else has. Which is
definitely no one else has.
Yeah, right, no one else has. Anyway, so, but again, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, between 19 and 23 is really close. So, my number, or 18, I'm sorry, 18 is Rising Sun.
My number 18 was number 27 last year, so it has risen a little bit. I did get to play it a couple times this year. And maybe that's why I just really enjoy this game. Second edition also is very good to it as well, although I like some of the graphic design choices that they made in the original better, but it's still a great game, and that is Kingsburg. Kingsburg second edition. It is a great, has dice rolling, but you're using the dice to place them in a worker placement type format.
You're drafting the dice.
No.
Elevator's not worthy.
But it's a neat, has a little bit of a, not really, but a city building aspect to it where you're building up your village, picking what buildings you're going to build in your village, which will then give you special abilities toward fighting and towards other things that you do in the court as well. So it's just a really neat little fantasy themed dice rolling, dice placement game that I've always enjoyed. And that is my number 18, Kingsburg.
Coolio.
My number 18, Tom mentioned Rising Sun. Well, my number 18 is Rising 5.
That's cool.
Ruins of
Very
Asteroids.
similar games.
Very similar. This is has the second best components of any game in my top 100
Actually,
anyway.
this actually is really surprising me. You like this game better than Sam, then according to these lists.
Yeah. Well, he likes puzzly games better than I do.
Yeah, but you're
exactly
you are
what I
I always see him like he's always.
Well, I mean, let me explain something. You are assuming that I like my #1 game as much as Sam likes his #1 game.
No, I don't assume that. No one likes their number. I don't like.
So you saying that I like, for example, my 18. What was Rising? Let's say 30. We might like it the same. I just might be, generally speaking.
You're just not as much of a lover of games.
Right. That's exactly it. You see what I'm saying?
Number 24.
There you go. It might be the same. He might like it more, but I am dispassionate about all games
That
in
is
general.
true. You did call your 11 through 20 garbage.
Thank you. And once we get to 1 through 10,
Garbage.
caca.
Until you get to 1, you're like, oh, the rest of these are
One's
garbage.
okay.
We're finally.
One's all right. The rest, filler, really. Anyway, Rising 5 was 85 last time. It's 18 now. That's a big jump.
Do you own the game?
Yeah.
I do, and I think it was 85 because it was new. I hadn't really put it through its paces. Yes, I wasn't about to shoot it up real high, but 85 put it on the list. I was feeling good about it. Really enjoyed it. The more I've played, I was worried about replayability at first. I think a little bit about the fact that the puzzle, this mastermind-esque puzzle aspect, might get old. Might not be as engaging as I was hoping. It's fine. Part of that is, yes, the game is 30 minutes, but it's also a fun, straightforward, engaging co-op game with a little app-assisted action on top of it, and it just works well. It's a smooth design. I really enjoy it. There's extra variants and stuff in the box. You can throw those in, but honestly, I've barely scratched the surface on that stuff. Core game is great.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy Rising 5. That's my number 18. It's risen quite a bit.
Jeez. Quite a bit. Hashtag understatement.
There's no one watching.
Okay, we're
laughing.
done.
Stop
Move
it!
on.
I'm done.
Okay, People's Choice number 18 was 20 last year. So this one has gone up a little bit, which is pretty. Whenever one goes up in the top 20, that's
Something
like
else
a
comes
huge
down.
deal, right?
Math.
No, it's a huge deal because this stuff naturally drops over time. Anyway, this one is Concordia.
Concordia?
Yeah, well, there's a couple
No, it
reasons.
Salsa.
It wasn't salsa. Actually, there's like 4 expansions for it. There's a lot of expansions. Mostly new maps. Now, Chef and Sit Down has raved about this game. Chef and Sit Down has raved about this game, so I'm sure that has had something to do with it. It's really pushed the game a lot.
Okay.
And the game is a lot of fun. It's
a good
the
game.
whole selection of cards. I like it. It's interesting, and the maps keep that. It's like a Ticket to Ride thing. Oh, there's a new map. Let's see how this map works,
Sure,
and a thing.
sure.
It's very basic, very themeless, really. But
Basic as in like simple?
I meant themeless.
Oh, okay.
Right, like very.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the maps. When they change the maps, I don't get what the attraction there is. I don't. I haven't played any other map. I played the base game. I liked it. I liked the game.
You probably would have to have played a lot. You're like, oh, this map's. Now, when I played with Salsa, I got it on the game. No, when I played with Salsa, the expansion, that added salt, which was a WoW resource, so that kind of changed things up. There was some changes in that one.
Okay.
But you're right. For me, I play one map, I'm like, all right, so I'm looking at the map like this. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. Okay, I'm good. But if you're like, we're playing this map, I'd be like, that map's just not as good as.
Yeah, the grapes in this are overpowered or something.
Have you played the Roomba map?
So, your number 20, Concordia.
Yeah.
My number 17 was 54 last year and 133 the year before that.
Ooh. Moving on up.
It is. And the reason I have to put this in my top 20 is because I'm at a convention and I'm walking, someone will say, hey, you want to play this game? And for whatever reason, I'll say, I'm busy, I'm going somewhere, I'm just not, I don't know if I'm in the mood. This game I almost always stop and play, and that is Captain Sonar. I love Captain Sonar. I also know that, it's going to be a 20-minute game probably, but I'm good at it. So I don't know if that helps a little bit. Like, there's very few games that I would say I'm good at. Captain Sonar is one I'm not a terrible player at. But the level of excitement in Captain Sonar starts at the beginning and does not let off all the way to the end.
That's true.
It's just this, and it's just the teamwork. Like I'll sit with 3 people I never met before. We're going back and forth, a little bit of yelling sometimes, but it's just so much fun. It really is. I really like the game.
I predict you're going to now lose your next 10 games as Captain Sonar.
You know what? I'm not. That's how confident I am.
Wow.
Of course, I have to have a good team. No, I'm not. I didn't say I want.
I stand out.
So it's not really you.
I
It's
see
your
what's happening.
team.
Okay.
Okay.
Walk it back.
Yep.
Hey, me and Eric Summer and Z Garcia and
Don't you add
put me in
to
there,
Your,
just
don't add me to your
don't-
boastful.
don't patronize
statements,
me.
okay?
and a 4th player.
Yeah, it ain't
I
gonna
don't
be
need
me.
to
determine.
I know it ain't gonna be me.
I don't need
worry
to
about
hear
it.
this boasting.
No, I
mean, I have never met a radar operator better than I. But do not add me to your boastful statements.
Eric is my radar operator.
Oh.
Eric gets whooped by me working that radar. I don't even need the radar. I just make the noise myself. Echolocation, baby. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, they're out there.
All right, so,
I heard a deep sea goat.
but I love the game a lot, and even when I
it
do
is.
get whooped by the opponent, it's still a lot
Splashes.
of fun. So my number 17 is Captain Sonar.
All right, that's good. That's a good pick.
My number 17 was 16 last year. My number 16 this year is a new game, so that might have had something to do with it. It didn't. It just fell that way. My number 17 is Jamaica.
Ooh,
Jamaica is
Classic.
a great racing game. Pirate theme drips off of this thing, and the artwork is amazingly well done. I love the fact that I've never put them all together, but I love the fact that all of the cards can be put together to create this panorama. That's just a really cool
Who would
thing.
take the time to put those together?
Somebody, because there's pictures
maybe a
online.
good player of
But
sub.
it's
I only
just
play mine in panoramic order.
wow. It's just great piratey dice rolling fun, and it's just a lot of good times. It's easy to teach. The rule book is insanely designed because it
The worst thing by far
folds
is
out on a map.
jacking your
Touch my
body.
water bottle.
You keep banging the.
So Jamaica is a great game, and I've always really enjoyed it ever since it came out. We've been tooting this horn forever. It feels like, because it's just that good of a game. So that's my number 17, Jamaica.
Yeah, this one has dropped a bit for me, as in out of my top 250 actually.
That's okay.
Wow.
I like it. I just kind of, after a while, I'm like, I feel like I'm playing the same game over and over and over. And I just, like, if someone came to me and said you can never play Jamaica again, I'd go, well, all right. I had good times playing it. It was a lot of fun, but
Well, you can play Jamaica again then.
okay.
Yeah, he's right. It's true. All right.
Was that a test?
Yes, you passed. My number 17 is new to the list, apparently. I thought this was on here before, but I guess it's not. This is Subterra. And Subterra is a cooperative game as well. My last one, Rising 5, was a co-op. The next one will be a co-op. Subterra,
Surprisingly.
I do like my cooperative games. Subterra is an exploration game in which you are discovering an underground cavern that you are trapped in, trying to find an exit. You're going to be revealing tiles, dealing with things like the earth shaking and causing collapses, pools of water, sprouting up and impeding your passage, monsters in the darkness. You don't know what's going on down there, but there are monsters hunting you down as well. All of this with tremendous time pressure, because if you don't make it, if you don't find that exit and make it out before this deck of cards runs out, you're probably all going to be consumed by the beasties down there. I really like it. I think it's the exploration mixed with the co-op is what really does it for me. I love games that have that idea of, okay, I'm going to walk in that direction, flip a tile, what did you walk into? And this one has tons of that. You mix that with cooperating, with someone, losing some health and dropping to the ground, so you got to run back and heal them and help them out. Everybody really coming together, and I think it's just a blast to play. I really like it. Now, the production of it, it's okay. I would love to see this, for the publishing company to take another stab at it. But the game, I don't have a hard time playing it, but it's fun enough that it still gets on the list just based on the amount of enjoyment I get out of it alone. So there you go. Subterra would definitely recommend if you enjoy co-op games. 17 for me.
All right, your number 17 has been on the list since the very beginning. It was 10 last year, so some dropping here, and that is Carcassonne. Just plain old Carcassonne.
Good old classic.
Which is starting to fall into the Catan category of people almost like, wow, Carcassonne's not that good. You know that whole, or Carcassonne was good, but they ruined it with the expansions. As if an expansion coming out is forced to be bought by people who play the original game.
That doesn't happen to you? I'll go to my game collection, pull out Carcassonne, and when I open it, all the expansions are in there. I'm like, oh no, now I have to sort these out.
Well, no,
they must have released this, and it showed up in my game box.
Well, that does happen to me, but that's a different story.
That's on you.
But Carcassonne, just that tile laying thing. This was one of the first games I read about right before I jumped into gaming full time. I was reading, and they were talking about putting tiles down and building farms, and I was like, that's fun. You know, I want to. Where's the guns? Where's the shooting and stuff? And then when I did play it, it just.
And then flash forward, and you're a fan of Agricola.
The satisfaction, the satisfaction of placing the tiles and seeing things finished is really good.
Yeah, that's true.
So Carcassonne, your number 17.
Cooperative puzzle building.
All right, my number 16 was 20 last year, so it's another one that's slowly moving up, although I don't think it will go much higher than this. I played at every convention, and that is Pitch Car. Pitch Car is amazing. I love it. I love making tracks. They're coming out with a loop. Well, as of us, you watching this, the loop is out. What else can I say?
Like, whoa.
Now it's more of a. It's more of a elongated loop. It looks like.
No, that doesn't make sense. That was too long at the top.
That's going to be.
It was an elongated
That's going to be
loop.
comedy gold for the audio version of this.
It's like high up here, but then it goes in tight.
And
instead of long this way, long this way.
I saw a Hot Wheel once that went like this. And
I have seen that. I have seen that. Yeah.
I love this game. And it's always, I have never seen a game of this go really poorly. I've seen a couple people who shouldn't play it because they just took it too seriously. You can't go in a Pitch Car, but I'll take it to play. Like I took it to my church, and a bunch of adults came by and like, what's this kid's game? And then play. Or the last time I played it at church, some older lady came up and she's like, can I play? We were like, sure, I guess. You know, it didn't look like she was that interested in it. And then she whomped everybody, just flicked and flying around the track, and people love that. It's just like it's this, you know, like if there's a basketball game, there's probably not going to be not everyone can play a basketball game.
Haven't you seen Uncle Drew, man?
That's a fake. That's fake.
That's not fake.
That's fake.
No,
those were real people.
Yeah, it's a real. No, I mean, movies are fake.
What's this cat talking about?
So anyhow, what I mean though is Pitch Car, anybody can play it. You know, when there's a lot of people who have a hard time with the big dexterity games because their hands shake, and they're hard to do. If your hands shake, you can still play Pitch Car. It's the ultimate flicking game. I think it's the last flicking game on my list. It is.
It shouldn't be the only one. How many
Pitch
flicking
Car.
games can you possibly have on your list?
I think I like 4. I like flicking games. All right, Pitch Car, my number 16.
My number 16, as I alluded to in my number 17 entry, is a new game to the list. And, you know, sometimes
you gotta go where
games just kind of just hit exactly where they're supposed to hit. I don't know, that doesn't make sense.
Heart.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Got me right here.
This is a game that was based on a popular internet intellectual property.
Cheers.
From back in the 80s. And this was a...
No.
This was a... What? This was a very cool movie.
I still don't know what this is,
Way
guys.
back in the
Help
day.
me
Is this
out,
a Big Trouble in Little China?
Big Trouble in Little China,
Oh,
yes.
It's that good to make it in the top 20?
For me, yeah.
Sometimes you
love this game.
But you love the movies so much, it's probably your top 10 favorite movies.
I do! And it's fine for that to happen.
No,
this is a
that's gotta
fun
affect you
movie.
somewhat.
That's
Well,
okay.
yeah, it's a fun movie. It's also a very fun
He's
game.
allowed to be affected by that.
No, I understand that.
I mean, it's
My next few are all based on Terminator 2.
it takes the IP of the movie and it put it into a board game, and it feels like you are in the movie. On top of that, they're going to be coming out with more expansions. Jack Burton's Further Adventures. I'm really looking forward to that.
Stuff that's not even in the movie?
Yeah. You realize, I think there's like a whole comic book series of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's based on a novel series, actually. That Big Trouble in Little China is. You didn't know that?
No, I'm sorry.
I just made that up, so I don't know.
Yeah. I let you run with it, though, didn't I?
Oh, wait, let me take it back then. Yeah, there's a whole series. So Big Trouble in Little China is actually not the first book. They just decided to make that one first.
What was the first one?
The first one's called, what's his name? Jack what now?
Jack Burton.
Jack Burton's first hoopla was actually about just a barbecue
Jack
party.
Burton's Escape from L.A.
It better not be Jack Burton. The Adventure Begins.
Jack Burton's Poseidon.
No, but it's a big game. It has a large footprint. There's a lot of intricacies that are going in there, but it is a very fun game, and there's a lot of great mechanisms that are employed. The variable player powers, dice rolling, being able to manipulate your dice. There's all of that in there, and those are all things that I really do enjoy. But the theme just works with the game, and that's what I really like when games do. They integrate the mechanics and the theme together so well, and they've really done it here. So that's my number 16, Big Trouble in Little China.
Nice. All right, my number 16 is new to the list. It's a co-op game. It is, unless I'm missing something, my favorite co-op game, apparently.
No, are you kidding? Lies. Look at your number 1.
My number 1 is not a cooperative. Oh, I'm sorry. I said cooperative dexterity.
He almost let the cat out of the bag right there, baby.
What is going on here?
No, I got
some alternate universe.
No, I got a bunch of cooperative games. Dexterity. I'm sorry, I did say cooperative. Dexterity games.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite dexterity game.
Well, it is a cooperative dexterity.
It is.
I saw it earlier.
Yeah, Minara is what it is. Don't be looking at my list. Minara, Minara is basically like Villa Paletti. I don't know why I use that reference because you don't know what that is either. You are building up pillars, putting a floor on those pillars, and then building up more pillars on that, putting a floor on that, trying to, in this game, cooperate together and build a structure that is a certain number of floors high. That's how you win. But you are going to be flipping over a card that tells you follow this rule this round. Like, okay, you must add 2 pillars to 1 floor. Cool. It's probably fairly easy. The floors have spots that can hold those pillars. You can bloop, put those on there, you're good to go. But sometimes they'll say things like, okay, well, take a whole floor with whatever's on it and move it higher than it is right now, because you could have multiple towers kind of going. That's a little trickier, and if you cannot do something, either because you don't have the right colored pillars in front of you or you just can't manage to do it, then that card, that rule that you had to follow, you flip face down, and it's now 1 further level you must build to win the game. I played this one time where I think the beginning challenge is 4 or 5 levels, I forget. I think we had to go up to 9. And at some point we figured out, everybody sitting around the table, we realized that for us to get to 9, there had to be at least 1 level that was held up by a single pillar. And it came up almost immediately because the colors just didn't match. So it was this very fantastic structure, a single pillar, and then like 3 more floors above that. And we won still. It was, I mean, absolute stand-up cheer moment. This game manages to do that fairly frequently. And that's a great accomplishment, in my opinion. For a cooperative game to both be, for a dexterity game, to both be cooperative, which is really rare, and give you lots of stand-up cheer moments, it's just fun.
Yeah, that's a good game.
So Minara, new on the list, 16 for me, right into the top 20.
Wait, both the dexterity games are 16. All right.
So is mine.
But I don't have any flicking games.
You don't like flicking as much as...
I don't. I'd rather be stacking thingies.
All right.
You do have to be pretty dexterous to carry Big Trouble in Little China.
There you go, baby.
Number 16 is the last of the new entries to the People's Choice. What is it?
The what?
It's the last of the new entries This is the highest new entry from last year onto the list, and it will be there for the next 3 years, probably at least, minimum. It will continue to stay.
Is Gloomhaven old?
Gloomhaven was on the list last year.
What else?
This game came out at Essen last year and has been on the top selling list every month since then. Azul.
Is it Azul?
It is Azul. He said it first. He wins.
What did he get?
Nothing. Sorrow. Despair.
I have no prize material laying around. Oh wait.
It's wet.
I will use it.
Oh, come on, that was foolish.
Ow, where'd it go? Ow, he says.
So anyhow, Azul, I would be surprised if this goes lower next year. I think it will move up. We'll have to wait and see how the new Azul, the Sintra stained glass one, I don't think that one will do as well as Azul. Did you go read the rules? They're online.
No, I haven't. They are?
They put the rules online. It looks a little bit more complex, so therefore I think it just will automatically not be as popular.
It's the same thing we were just talking about King of Tokyo, King of New York. I mean, it's just that's how that goes.
But boy, it sure looks pretty, the new one. But Azul just continually smashes. I mean, it sells like crazy. If it had not made the list, I would have been mind-boggled.
Oh, sure, of course.
So, actually, I thought it might even hit top 10, but 16 is a pretty strong
That's good.
Entry.
That's
pretty strong debut
first,
right there.
Yeah.
All right, so your number 16, Azul. My number 15 was number 9 last year, so around the same. This is, I mentioned HeroScape is my biggest game. I have the most stuff for. This is my second I have the most stuff for. And I don't even have everything for it, and I never will. I don't care. I have a lot. And we just played the Warhammer 40K version of this, and that is Dice Masters. I like Dice Masters a lot. It's my favorite collectible game, in general. The 40K stuff is okay. I like it, but I still like the Marvel theme the best, or DC, it doesn't matter, superheroes, or even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I didn't mind that.
Superheroes.
Yeah, they are really superheroes, and I like mixing those together. The D&D version, 40K versions are fine.
Big Trouble in Little China. That's coming out.
No.
Who knows? It could, right?
That could technically happen.
Yeah, so
There are enough characters, yeah.
I doubt it, but I like the simplicity of the game. It has deck building where you pick the cards that you're going to use. There's the dice pool bag thing I like, and then you just roll dice, and it's fun. But you also make the decisions like you do in Magic, which creatures are going to attack, what you're going to defend with. It's a lot of fun for me. So Dice Masters. I know you guys don't like it, like even
remotely like you.
Probably wouldn't be in the top 200 for either one of you, but.
No, but it is. I mean, it's similar to a Magic the Gathering with dice, like you said. That's not a bad concept.
Back when it was called Couriers, I did enjoy it, and I did have fun with it, and I still like the game. But
do you have Couriers?
Yeah, still have it.
Yeah, they're coming out with a new mega version of Couriers that has everything in it.
I think I already have everything.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, but this will be one box to hold everything.
Will it be a tin, a cube tin?
It is not a cube tin.
Cube tin. I remember when I had Couriers in that cube tin.
All right. Yeah, Couriers did not make my top 100. I like it, but Dice Masters just knocked it around. So my number 15, Dice Masters.
Cool.
My number 15 was 18 last year, so pretty much the same spot. Rose 3 spaces, probably because I was able to play it, I think, between the last time we made a list and now. I always get my chronologies messed up whenever we talk from year to year. But the last time I think I played it, it was with Lance Meister and a bunch of other people at MeepleCon. And that was just a really fun game. And it really kind of brought out everything that Coliseum has to offer as far as trading and really talking through your show as you put it on. Which,
you guys do that?
If I'm not mistaken, it's actually in the rule book that you're supposed to do that. I could be mistaken. I don't care if
that
it's not there.
That may be a Dice Tower rule that we made up that one.
Maybe.
Remember that one marathon where it was 2 in the morning and it was the only way to stay awake? And I was like, you must describe your show. And I just made it up. And then you guys took it to some nth degree.
No, but it was a really fun game. Coliseum is the game that I don't know if I've actually mentioned it yet. I don't think I did. You guys just
Coliseum?
Yeah, I think you did.
Did I?
Oh, you said
anyway,
it. You said it.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, anyway, I was not in love with the TMG version of it. graphically speaking.
It's better than no version.
But it is better than no version, and that's what I give props to TMG for doing. They reprinted a classic game, they made it available again, and they largely left it alone. They just reprinted it with new stuff.
Well, what are you supposed to do when you're following Days of Wonder? Like I just saw announced, they just announced somewhere that Caesar and Cleopatra, Cleopatra and Society of Architects is being remade.
Yeah.
Have fun trying to duplicate the original of that game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They are.
They're remaking that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it came out like 3 days.
Flash news.
Like 3 days ago it came out.
That you will now have known 5 weeks since this has come out.
Yeah, right. People know, like, we've known this for
Yeah, right.
weeks now. These guys are so behind the ball.
But Coliseum is a great game, and it's now available again, which is the positive aspect of it. So my number 15, Coliseum.
Very cool. My number 15 has been mentioned already in this top 10
Azul.
By
by you, my good sir.
me?
Big Trouble in Little China.
Close.
He does not play the Jamaica.
Jamaica is correct. Jamaica was 22 last time. It's 15 right now. It
Wow!
oscillates. It oscillates in there pretty much. I think I might be the only person who enjoys the expansion. I thought the expansion was very good. It took years and years to come out. I mean,
It really did.
That expansion missed the boat, if you'll pardon the pun, by quite
Not
a few
only did it
years.
take a while to come out, it was not very widely available for a while. Still, I don't think is that widely.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
It
know.
might not be.
Like, I see people playing Jamaica, I never see the expansion even show up.
Yeah.
And then I mention it, people are like, there's an expansion?
That's
it's just
true.
like an unknown thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I like it quite a bit. It adds a lot of characters, and it adds character to the game. It's
Punnage is overwhelming.
that was actually more wordplay than punnage, but I think it actually makes the game easier to teach. I know that might seem counterintuitive, that you add an expansion and the game gets not simpler. It's not simpler, but it is easier to teach. For one thing, you now have a secondary sort of board from which to select characters, and the deck of treasure cards is just treasure cards. I don't have to, at the beginning of the game, get that deck and go through it saying, okay, if you get that, that's plus 7 points. If you get that, that's minus 3. But then also, if you get this card, you now have an extra deck on your ship. And if you get this card, you can re-roll your combat die. And, you know, people draw those and go, what's the sextant again? Oh, wait, let me check the rule book. That one lets you roll dice twice, you know. Now all those powers have been relegated to those extra characters. And there's only 3 flipped face up at the beginning of the game. I literally have to explain nothing except 3 of them. And as you grab one, if the selection token is next to new ones that are still face down, you reveal them. Cool. That one's that one's that. Done. The game is simpler to play and has more flavor in it. So I think it's brilliant. I really, really like the expansion. Jamaica. It's just a fantastic family game. Definitely recommend it. 15 was 22 last time.
Weren't there only like 4 cards that you had to explain in the treasure deck?
There were a few. I had a promo also that gave you like 3 more.
Yeah, that does more. Your number 15 was 28 last year. This is one of the most highly rated, more complex Euro games. Like, not that complex, but, you know.
Terra Mystica.
Great Western Trail.
Great Western Trail.
This one, which is a
got it
mix
right.
of a rondel and, a long rondel, and a deck builder, and just a lot of stuff going on in this
There's
game.
deck building in this game too?
I thought rondelles were circles.
No, rondel, it doesn't have to be a circle. It's a track that you move around,
Oh, okay.
and you can basically move as far as you want on the track, but then you might miss things on the way and stuff. But you can keep coming around and around this track. You just keep going around. You're delivering cattle. So it's very thematic. You're taking cattle to the end, and then you have this deck of cattle that, like a deck building aspect, so you want to put better cows in your deck. It sounds, I'm not selling it to either one of you, I think.
Really?
But,
That's how that works? I never played it, obviously.
but there's a lot of really strategic decisions in it. I like it. Obviously not as much as the people do. This one's very, very high. But
yeah.
this is certainly one that, like in our groups and the place I go where the Euro gamers, the guys who, that's all they play, this is always one that's talked about very, like I very rarely hear a heavy Euro gamer go, yeah, I don't like this game. No, they tend to like it. Great Western Trail.
I mean, the biggest thing this game suffered was coming out around the same time as Terraforming Mars, in fact.
Right, they both came out the same year, so it was kind of overshadowed, but they both did very well. It was a good year for Stronghold that time.
No kidding.
Great Western Trail, that's number 15. All right, my number 14 was mentioned about 2 seconds ago by Z Garcia.
Jamaica?
No, Terraforming Mars. You just said it.
Funny, okay, yeah.
All right, it was 18 last year, 31 the year before that. This one keeps going up for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You like Venus next. And what's the other one? What's after that? Wasn't there another expansion?
Yes, Prelude. And there was also...
Prelude came out after?
Well, there's actually been 3 expansions. Well, by the time you see this, the 4th expansion, Colonies, has come out. But Prelude is my favorite of the new expansions, mostly because you have this corporation that gives you what you're going to do over the course of the game, and this lets you customize it even further. You have like more unique, a different starting position than everybody else.
Huh, okay.
But this game is pure engine building. That's why I like it. I mean, it has drafting. If you play the full game, you know, you draft the cards. It's an engine builder. Then you watch Mars get terraformed. It just has like a story arc too, as you're building Mars and putting oceans on it. Have either of you played this?
Oh no.
You played it. You have not. I don't even know that you would dislike the game, actually. I mean, you do tend to dislike a lot of good games.
Based on length alone, you will not like.
Well, how long is it?
It's a good 2.5, 3 hours.
No. That's if you're playing with 5 players, which I will never do. I prefer playing with 3 myself. And then it's not as long that way. Even
I say 90 minutes. If the game's 2 hours,
it's a long game.
If it's 2 hours,
with 3 players,
fun,
and we were there for 2.5 hours.
Well, it could be.
2 is fine. I don't care about 2 hours, but it just looks really boring.
No, and you know what? If this game had better graphics, it could easily be like in my top 10. I think that does. Well, I've also just blinged mine out a lot. You know, there's a lot of ways I made mine look better, but yeah, that does bug me a bit. And uneven artwork across the cards with photographs and then drawn pictures and different styles. Yeah, it's just kind of a mess that way. But the game itself, fantastic.
For me, I'm like, when I heard of it, I'm like, Terraforming Mars sounds great to me. I love sci-fi. I love, you know, things like The Martian, right, the movie. That kind of theme. And then you look at it and go, oh, this kind of looks like Agricola in space, and it just looks boring.
I do think you would like it, though. I do. But anyway, it's...
I'll wait for Terraforming Mars Express.
My number 14, Terraforming Mars, keeps moving up.
My number 14 was 23 last year, so it's
also moving up.
Pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much the same chunk of games, and it's all about rolling the dice, all about manipulating the dice, knowing how many dice you need to roll to get those resources. Stone Age is my number 14. A great mid-level family weight game, in my opinion, and it is just so, in my opinion, it's so just simple to teach. There's just some simple things that you have to do in order to score points. You go here, you put your workers here, that's how many dice you roll to try to get that. There's a little bit of math involved. You got to do the division and all that kind of stuff.
That, kids, is why you need to learn no division.
And there is, you know, you build houses or you go get cards for in-game scoring, and that's pretty much all there is to it. There's not a whole lot else except for a couple other things that you're going to end up doing anyway. But the core thing is rolling those dice, producing those resources, using them to build the houses or get the cards. And so it's just fun in that way. The expansion I also enjoy. Not a whole lot of people like the expansion. They thought it was
called?
It's called Stone Age: The Expansion now.
What was it called?
I don't know, because it's like style is the goal or something like that.
Oh, we remember.
It was weird. It was so strange.
Stone Age, style is the goal.
Right. So,
what?
Anyway.
Did someone Google Translate whatever the original title was? Style is the goal.
Which might make sense for like a game about clothing.
Porter, maybe, like.
Right.
That's it. It's just cracked me up when that came out.
But it's a classic in my opinion, and it's my number 14, Stone Age.
Good stuff. All right, my number 14 was number 3 last time.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Oh no, this is Hiroshima Hex. Is now outside my top 10, fellas.
Oh.
I know. You know
and
what
this is before you even played the new one.
Yeah, I'm not expecting the new one to necessarily replace this. I don't know anything about it. It might not. I don't like the new theme, I think.
Well,
it's
Z has
fantasy.
played the new one since. Guaranteed you've played it.
By
as of
now,
this
when
video
they
going
see
up.
this, I
Yes.
guess so. Yeah.
Just to clarify, in case you're
I liked
wondering.
it. I liked it. I thought it was
Coming
good.
out, it isn't.
I don't know. Yeah. It's you know what it is. Using Tom's logic, I'm too good at it. That's what it is. It's like you know, like Captain Sonar. I'm just good at this. I win every time. I put the computer on when I play on the app, I put the AI on hard mode, and then I actually close my eyes and I pick I still win, baby. Anyway, no, I don't know.
Always takes what I say to an nth degree.
There's just a lot of really good games above this. 14 is
Good.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoy Hiroshima Hex. I only play with 2. I think 2 is the best way to play. It technically goes up to 4, but that's chaotic. And I just enjoy the fact that it still feels like a puzzle-driven placement game that every now and then you go, okay, now let's kill each other. You know? And everything just, and the board gets wiped off. And, you know,
Yeah, but when I'm
just
playing, I'm
dies.
sitting there the whole time like, is the attack happening now? Now would be okay. What?
And then you
What?
place one unit, and I'm like, okay, no fight right now, because that dude obliterates my plan. Yeah, I like that a lot. So Hiroshima X, 14 for me.
All right, your number 14 was number 12 last year, so same spot for people's choice, essentially, and that is 5 Tribes. This one's holding pretty well, actually, considering it's, you know, again, a lot of these games, the newer ones tend to rise. 5 Tribes is one of those evergreens. Days of Wonder has like an evergreen every 5 years or so.
That's impressive for.
Right, they got Ticket to Ride.
Some companies never get one.
Small
so.
World and 5 Tribes was that one. Like Yamatai is not going to be there.
No.
Right. In
Yamatai
fact,
is
Yamatai didn't make the top 100
awful.
for people.
Awful,
no, you
yeah.
like it, but I'm saying it doesn't
It's
have
my
that.
36.
It doesn't have that wide appeal that 5 Tribes does. What number did you say your 5 Tribes were? Okay, anyway, 5 Tribes.
36 is Yamatai.
Yeah, this one, that whole Mancala thing and the thinkiness of it, but the thinkiness goes down, then up, then down again. It's a very kind of roller coaster-y type game. Like you have a few choices at the beginning, and then they kind of escalate, you know. Or
You
at
have
least
a lot of choices at the beginning.
a lot of mini choices.
Yes, that's
But
true.
then the choices could be awesome as the game goes by, and then they go down to, is there even a choice? But then when there is, someone says, hey, Sam, man, you have a great move.
Oh, I hate it. That's why I hate
If I ever see Sam play 5 Tribes, I come up like, oh my goodness, did Sam see that move? Even if there's nothing, and then leave.
What a jerk.
I hate that. I hate that.
He loves it.
I hate when it happens when I'm playing with somebody, and they're sitting there and I go, and then they're finally about to move, and someone else goes, oh, wow. And then they pause, like, wait, what? You shut up, they're about to move!
Exactly.
5 Tribes.
That's what I just
Your
hate
number
about it.
14. My number 13 was 5 last year. Although once I play the newest expansion for this, it might shoot back up. Whatever, you know, top 20.
Oh, my number 13 was 5 last year.
Oh, was it?
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I still love this game a lot. My favorite, I think, dudes on a map style game. And I just opened the expansion, Kemet.
Has to be, yeah.
I just opened the expansion, and there's more monsters in it. Now, do those new monsters, can they only be used by the new big bad guy?
Huh?
There's monsters in the new expansion of Kemet, Seth.
Yes.
Can those new monsters only be used by the new big bad guy, or can anyone use them?
I don't recall.
Oh,
Yes.
I hope so because they look awesome.
You say yes?
He's just making up nonsense.
Yeah.
They look cool.
I don't recall. If I remember correctly, there are some tiles that allow him, Set, to purchase some of your the rest of the people's tiles.
Oh, sure. No, I see the tiles, and I just didn't look at it carefully.
Well, the reason I say that is because I don't know if those new monsters were ones that we will have the ability to have that he could also purchase, or if they were just exclusive.
Well, that's what I'm
for him.
hoping.
Yes.
Because if they're for everybody, then you can use them. I don't know that I'm going to play, regardless of whether I like Seth or not. I don't think I'm going to Seth or not. I don't think I'm going to play it every time.
Well,
Probably still play.
So what's the deal? It turns the game into an all versus one?
Yeah.
With the one being a player or like.
One's a player, but that
game-driven?
player is like powerful.
No, one player plays set, and
Everybody
the
else
other,
working together against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway, but I still like Kemet. I like the attacking. I like that you could have monsters. I like the technology tracks. They're so diverse. The last expansion I liked a lot, although I don't play with half of it. The priests just adds a little bit more complexity that I'm usually willing to play. But I do use the black tiles because they're awesome. So Kemet, just a great game. It's been on my top 20 list now. It started at 13 in 2013, and now it's still the 6th time. It's still 13.
Whew.
So
okay,
Kemet.
That's some staying power.
My number 13 is new to the list, and it is a game that kind of rocketed up because I enjoy it that much, and I like worker placement games anyway. And this one had a really cool twist to the worker placement genre, where you could take people and throw them into jail. And
Wow!
I like it a lot.
I thought
really,
this was high on my list.
I really enjoyed it. Architects of the West Kingdom, new to the list. I really enjoy this game.
You feeling left out?
A lot.
Can I change my list real
Wasn't
quick?
in your top 100.
Did I say Jamaica? Eject that garbage. The expansion was awful.
Wow, I didn't realize you liked it this
No,
much.
I really do. I really do. I
really?
like Garfield games anyway. You know, I like all of their Raiders, and
You like it more than I do.
I like them. I like them all better. I do rank them, of course. I like Raiders is my favorite. Explorers is, yeah, and then what is it? The Builders.
Shipwrights.
Shipwrights. There you go. Where you're building ships. That one is.
That was more fun than that game.
Not good, huh?
He
didn't like it very much. He didn't like it very much.
Explorers was okay.
Yeah, but Architects of the West Kingdom really kind of blows the other ones away. In
You
my
like it better
opinion.
than Raiders, then?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I do. I like it a lot better than Raiders.
Because I considered it. Mm-hmm. And I never even thought of putting Raiders on my top 100. I like the game, but
I like it a lot.
Architects, I was like, that's a really good worker placement game. You know?
Yeah, it is. So it's great. Give it a try if you haven't yet. Number 13, Architects of the West Kingdom.
I agree and concur. What am I on? Okay, it's a clue, Sherlock. No, my number 13 is, as Tom said, his was 5 last time, so is mine, number 5. I keep talking about this game. No one else, I think, likes it.
Wait,
I believe the designer doesn't like it.
The solo game?
Is it that solo weird Oni?
No. This is Blue Moon Legends now.
Oh, yeah. No, enough people must have liked it that it was reprinted.
I guess so, but then it quickly died.
They were like, hey,
again.
we're reprinting the whole thing. It's out and put on a discount shelf.
It sure felt
came
that
out
way. I mean,
pretty quickly.
yeah, they must have had some sort of, they owed Reiner Knizia a reprint or something. They were like, yeah, fine, we'll reprint it. But also, we're announcing this new Star Wars game at the same time. Dun, da, da, da. Prop it up on top of the Blue Moon Legends game. There, put it higher. Blue Moon Legends, a 2-player card-driven game with one-upmanship kind of feel. You know, where I'll push back on you with a certain strength, and you must respond or lose a fight. That's largely it, and then you add special powers and stuff on top of that. This game has deck building in it. You could build your own group of characters. It's got a few different modes now out of the box because, again, they basically took everything that's been printed, promos and everything, and put it in one box. So I would certainly recommend it if you're looking for a 2-player game that's pretty easy to get into, but will have enough twists on that very simple concept I explained to make it, I think, engaging. I really like it. Blue Moon Legends, my number 13.
All right, People's Choice, number 13. Has been on the list since the beginning, and when it first started on the list, it was 1. So dropping to 13 is, I mean, it's dropped, but it's still very, very high. Yeah, it was 1 several years in a row till it was displaced by pandemic.
Okay, hold on, let me think. Look at this beast.
Okay, so think about 8-9 years ago, the game everyone was playing all the time.
Galaxy Trucker.
And they've now expansioned it to death. But
they've now expansioned it to death?
Yeah. People still play it, but not like they used to.
Oh, I have no idea.
Started a whole new genre, deck building.
Oh, Dominion. Okay,
Dominion.
got it.
It was 11 last year, 8 the year before that. So it's, you know,
so
it's
it
moving
came
down
in
a
at number
bit.
1 when it came in.
Oh, it was number 1, man. Well, you remember when it came out.
Dominion was on everyone's lips when it came out.
Yeah, it's very, very high. What can you say? It's a deck building game. I wonder, and here's the thing about Dominion that blows my mind. This game was made to be an app. If this was an app, I would play it all the time. They finally came out with an app last year, and it was one of the worst implementations of a game ever. Not only did it not play very well, you had to buy the expansions using in-game currency that was sold in denominations differently than that you needed to pay. I don't remember what the exact numbers were, but let's say to buy an expansion cost you 80
Correct.
funny money. And you could buy funny money in lots of 100. So you would buy 100.
Hot dog buns thing. Everybody
Yes.
does that.
No, almost every app in the App Store, when you buy the thing, it's like pay $5.99 for this expansion or this or this. Or if you do buy this fake currency,
human money, right?
You can buy it in like 1,000, and then this costs 100 or 200 or whatever. It doesn't, this was to buy every expansion for Dominion. You had to pay for more of this money than you needed.
That's normal.
No, it's not normal.
That
It's stupid.
That seems
I'm pretty sure
cheesy.
it is, because I bought some stuff for my son for Fortnite just a few days ago, and they do the same thing.
Yeah, but Fortnite.
Yeah, but there's other things
There
for
will be other
Fortnite.
things. It's not like your money's
that's
going
the
to go
thing,
away.
though. The amount that's left over, you can't purchase anything with it.
I know, but there are other things to purchase.
Yeah, there are.
And
Yeah,
right.
once you bought everything in
Once you
Dominion, you
buy
have
everything in
like
Dominion, there's nothing else to
leftover
purchase. You
fake
have
funny
leftover
money,
money.
you know?
Yeah, it was and then it
But
wasn't
I
even
did
that
hear
good.
in 2025 they're adding some expansions to the app. So
Yeah, that's crazy. The game
Come on,
came out
man. Jeez.
way back in 2011. Around this time, Summoner Wars came out as an app, and all these things. It was like, oh wow, when's Dominion coming out? And it never did.
they never put out a second
Insane.
edition, like a nice cleaned up. Like remember when Pandemic got really popular, and they were like, you know what? I
No,
think it's
Dominion
time.
second edition came out last year.
What's
Remember
it?
they changed like 15 cards, whatever.
Is there new artwork? Does it look better? Is it a nice edition?
No,
Right. Well,
but still, it's very popular. Despite everything we just said, I really like it too. Dominion, you're number 13. All right, it's time to start. Well, this will continue into the top 10, I guess.
start to get to the good games.
A run of Euro games. All right, for those who say I don't like Euro games, whatever. My number 12 was 8 last year, 6 the year before that. Still like this a lot, although it's not my favorite game from this designer, Uwe Rosenberg, and that would be Caverna. Caverna, which knocked Agricola off the list. Like, Agricola's not even in my top 250, I think.
Whoa.
Why?
What?
It's just, I can't imagine wanting to play Agricola when I can play Caverna. The only thing Agricola has
There's
over Caverna
fences, dude.
is the whole, you can have those cards that no one else has.
An
and they
oven.
do come
You
out.
can have an oven, brick or something.
You can get all that in Caverna.
You can? Oh, because they're on the buildings.
Yeah. But you got a handful of cards, and they made a gazillion card packs.
He went nuts. Yeah, he
But
lost his mind.
Caverna is way more interesting for me. I like the theme of having a farm and a cave, and you can work on either or both. There's very distinct strategies, but the biggest thing for me, besides the whole take a huge amount of stuff, the biggest thing for me was the strategies are now diverse. The thing that you complain about Agricola, even though I like Agricola, is true. It's that you need to do a little bit of everything.
Validation, finally.
Huh?
Finally, some minor amount of validation. I feel complete.
Good.
Anyway, I like the fact that now you can really work hard on one thing and get a lot of points that way. So, Caverna, my number 12, a crossover with Sam, who had it somewhere on his top 100.
Yeah, somewhere.
In the garbage half.
All right. So an interesting distinction here. I just realized this. I realized it when you were talking about Kemet. That's why I kind of had to ask you a couple questions when you were making that. Anyway, from 12 to 1, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Viking games, and a 5th game. My favorite faction in that game is a Viking faction. So I just thought that was interesting. Almost half of the games that are
not a
left.
surprise to anyone who's listening.
Sam, you like the Vikings?
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, 12 and 11 are both Viking games.
So I'm going to say 12 is Vikings. No, you didn't like Vikings that much.
He does.
Did the game Vikings?
I think he does, yes.
Not high enough to be in your top 12.
Talk about the Z-Man game from way back when?
Yeah.
That's not on the list.
Okay.
That's one of the most thematic
All right, well, we
Viking
know-
games.
You
We-
take that back.
We know
sorry.
it's not Blood Rage. I'm gonna say
How
it's
do you
that
know
worker
it's-
placement one that we played where you get the ship. No, you didn't like that one that much either. I don't know. Go ahead.
Fire and Axe, a Viking saga.
Oh,
It's number 12 this
that's
year.
as old as the other Viking game.
Yeah, it is, but it's still better. 14 last year, so it's pretty much the same spot. But this one is, this is about as Viking-y that a Euro game can be without not being Viking. Because,
Without being Vikings.
yes, sure,
It's as
yes,
close as you can get to the line
yes.
before you're basically just buying tiles in
Correct.
a rondel.
Yes.
You know, like, okay.
Now,
Vikings,
I really enjoy this. You know, the whole aspect is the way that your turn is structured is what really kind of makes it cool to me. You have a week worth of days, and you can use those 7 days to load things up on your ship or sail or go into other ports and that type of thing. And that's what I really liked about it, because you knew you had 7 things that you could do on your turn. What you did, that's where you started to have to make decisions. But it just gave a structure to the game that I really enjoyed. The other thing that I liked about the game is how you can just, I just thought it was funny how you could go in and trade with them. And, oh, yes, we're friends. And then just sit out in port and wait for a turn and then come back. Now we're going to kill you and take all of your stuff.
You got a bonus if you had traded with them because they trusted you.
And it made it easier because they trusted you on that second
I
turn.
like to point out that I do not approve of such,
Yeah,
such things
I'm
in games.
sure.
I would not do that.
It does have a little bit of a rub in that people can come in and kind of snipe things that you were trying to get, and then that can really kind of invalidate your last turn. So you do have to kind of play the game intelligently and not allow that to happen.
Wow.
Exactly.
Garbage. That's a
That is-
ad hominem argument.
No, it is not.
I don't like this thing. That's because you're stupid.
No, it's not it. You have to know that that's a possibility and then structure your turns and what you do so that it is more difficult for people to do that to you.
That's true. I mean, unless someone's pulling out a surprise card, you could tell how far away they are. And they might sacrifice Viking sailors to get to a port, because if you're sailing over a certain number of days, they'll
have to
die.
lose, you
You're
have to
going
lose
through
stuff
rough
off of your,
seas, right?
Yeah, you have to lose
So yeah, you
stuff.
might push it
There is
to
card
come in
play in
and
this
snipe
as well.
something, but you'll pay.
There is card play in there
There's a
as
little
well,
bit.
but it's minor in my opinion. I think what we were talking about just recently is what you really have to be careful of.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the game. It's always been one of my favorite games. So that's number 12, Fire and Axe, a Viking Saga.
Cool. My number 12 is new to the list. There's only one other new game above this in the top 10. And this is a card game, very much a Euro game that does that thing that I've talked about, characters with powers. I really like that. This is Kashgar, Merchants of the Silk Road.
What? Okay, now
number
this cracks me
12.
up because Jason was like, "Z will love this." Jason was right.
Jason is not infrequently right. He's a smart little man.
Let me parse that sentence. Keep going. Okay, you
Got it? Yeah. Okay. Kashgar has you triggering special powers on characters that do things like gather resources, spend those resources to acquire contracts, which are deliveries, get new characters to assist you, that sort of thing. But the central mechanism of having 3 caravans, i.e. 3 columns of characters, and on your turn, you must trigger the bottom one on one of those columns, and then that character goes to the back of that line, is extremely easy to manipulate on the one hand, but also fascinating in the possibilities that they can offer you. You know, and you'll have unique powers like, okay, well, pick a character in here and just bump it to the back of that line, meaning I don't have to cycle through that character to get to the one that would have been right above it, which is great. I really wanted to get to that one, but I didn't want to have to waste a turn getting this one moved, you know? And then you've got one specific character that you begin with in every column that the action is add a new character. And so if you have a couple of cards that are great in one of the columns and you keep cycling it, that column continues to grow. And it takes forever to get to the really juicy 2 or so, you know, that you've got in there. Manipulating all of this is music. to my ears. I love that stuff, you know. The rest of the game is real straightforward, but it's all about that core mechanism. I think it's brilliant. I love this game. Kashgar, Merchants of the Silk Road, is exactly what I want in a Euro card game. And I get it from this. My number 12.
All right, your number 12 has been on the list since the beginning, and it has hovered at, it's the highest it ever was 3. And this is yet another one of those. I mean, so far we've had Carcassonne and Dominion. This is in that same group of gateway style games, and this was on all. This is a 4-way crossover, I think, for all of us, and that would be Ticket to Ride. I think you had a Ticket to Ride somewhere on your list, right?
I did. Mm-hmm.
I know we both did. Yeah, so Ticket to Ride just consistently does well. It's still played, still sold some version of it at any given point.
Mm-hmm.
It just came out with the mini one, the Ticket to Ride New York. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well that one is doing. Actually, I haven't heard much response to that at all, good or bad. I liked it. It was fast, simple, easy.
It's fine.
We'll see if that line continues. Like, we'll see more of those fast little ones. But yeah, so Ticket to Ride. I think Ticket to Ride Europe showed up somewhere on the list for the People's Choice. But
I believe you mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, but Ticket to Ride is definitely still the king of that one. So
right.
Your number 12, Ticket to Ride. All right, finally, before we get to the top 10, my number 11 was 149 last year. So that's a really high. Well, you put some new ones on the list. So,
yeah.
I mean.
Your number 11 was 149.
Sure. Well, I had only played it a couple times.
There you go.
Right,
yeah,
and now I've played it many times since, and the expansion is in my top 10 expansions because it gave you special abilities and all sorts of things. Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
Good night.
I love this game, this Euro game.
You like Euro games? I thought you didn't like Euro games, and all your reviews were positive.
Those don't match, but yes.
I know, but I just thought I would mention things that people say.
This is a game in which you roll dice, and the dice that you roll, then each person has workers that match the colors of those dice, and then that worker is the strength of the die that you rolled. So if my orange die is a 5, my orange worker is a 5. And everyone has these same things, and you're just putting them out in different spots, trying to get cards, build up these tableaus. You can build this like machine that you can run, and we'll give you different things based on it running. Every game of this plays very differently for me. I'm going to decide what I'm trying to do, how I'm going to get points. It's very mechanical, no question, right? I don't know, you know, but it just feels really good. And it has, in the expansion, the coolest way to pick player powers that I've seen a game ever do. Where there's a bunch of player powers, we can all, you know, we're going to pick which ones we want. So we do so by auctioning. And you essentially auction off starting resources. So I'll say, I'll take this power, which is amazing. Like this one, I can set the dice to whatever I want them to be, you know. I'll start with 5 wood and 3 of this and 2 money. And next one's like, I want that same power, and I'll start with fewer resources to take it. So you could start with a ton of resources, but not the best power, and you just go around doing that. It's a really cool auction mechanism because the powers might not be completely balanced, but if we're going to fight over one, someone's going to end up taking very few resources to start to get that power.
Do you just put the resources on there, and as I take it from you, I get rid of one?
No, each power comes with a little card that's matched at it randomly at the beginning of the game, and that card has starting resources that go down, and you just put a marker on it. And then once everyone's marker's on a different card, you then take the resources that it shows to start.
Got it.
It works really well. It's fantastic. I like it a lot. So Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Oh, man, this game is good. Almost made my top 10. Almost.
All right, my number 11 is also a Viking game, and it is new to the list. I love historically themed games. And, I just brain farted on the company.
878?
878 Vikings.
It is Academy Games.
Academy Games, yes. Academy Games.
I just did my, I was recording my 250 through 101, and I got to this one, and I was like, Sam hasn't put this on his list, and I know he likes it.
No, I really do enjoy it a lot. It is, in essence, it's a 2-player game where one player is the invading Vikings, and the other player is the English defending their homeland.
You know, actually, we argue about this 2-player actually being a 4-player game. This is the one time I think this one does play okay 4 players.
Yes, and that's what I was about to get to, is that this does still play well with both 3 and 4 players. But I really enjoy...
He's telling me to be quiet, that's all.
Playing it with 2 players. I really enjoy it, but I also enjoy 3 and 4. So usually that doesn't happen with games like this, where it says it's 2 to 4 players, but it's really a 2-player game like New Hiroshima Hex or Summoner Wars or Star Realms or Hero Realms or anything like that.
That's not even a 2-player game.
So I love the historical aspect to this, and I just love everything about the game.
I'm assuming
I love
it's
the
your
system as
favorite
well.
of that series,
it is the
too.
favorite of my series too.
Also got rid of cubes and put little plastic dudes in.
Yes,
Did they do that out of the box?
Didn't hurt,
Yeah.
huh? Yes.
Oh,
They did that out of the
Yeah,
box?
that was yes. Pretty sure they did.
I don't know if it was
Pretty
a
sure they
Kickstarter or not, but I think
There's
so.
there's other expansions that you can purchase to
Put the cubes back in.
no, it's a
Slightly
it's a
larger cubes.
upgrade other things in the game, but the little miniatures came in the base game.
Okay,
pretty
that's
sure.
cool.
But really enjoy the game. Love the historic aspect to it. 878 Vikings, my number 11.
That is a good choice.
That whole series, I think the only one I've played is the Canadian one. What is that?
1812?
The something of Canada. Yeah.
Which is good, but I think the 2 best
Called
easily.
the something of Canada. I don't know what it's
Invasion
called.
of Canada.
Okay, I
The
forgot what
2
it's
best
called.
for me are 1775 and 878. They're both good. They're all good, but those 2 are my favorite.
Okay, cool. All right, well, my number 11 was 4 last time, and this is Seven Wonders Duel. Seven Wonders Duel is excellent. Honestly, it's hard because it slipped a few spots, but I wouldn't say I dislike it now any more than when it first made the list. In fact, I would say I'm more excited about it now because I thought the expansion was fantastic. The expansion allowed the game, now it might have been out already, but last time it made it on the list, I don't remember, but the expansion really, in my opinion, opened up the design a little bit to allow for less predictability maybe in what your opponent might do. You couldn't you couldn't kind of count out the turns, whereas as your opponent takes a card, I know the next one will be revealed, and I can kind of see what's going to be coming down the pike a couple of turns, upcoming from now. In this one, the expansion allows you to buy new god cards or something like that, and when you do that, you break the rhythm of the game. You are not taking a card from the center. It's kind of like skipping a turn when it comes to counting that out. It really opens up what could happen. There's big swings now, surprises, moments that you go, oh, I can't believe you pulled that out. I really got to stop and think now, am I in trouble? Or are we just going through the motions here? I know that sounds like the motions doesn't sound exciting, but I really think it's a great 2-player game. I like it better than the original. The original was, actually it slipped quite a bit. I forgot where it ended up. It was 57 for me. And
That's not like, okay, again, that's still pretty good in your top 100.
It did slip quite a bit though. It was 7 last time.
Ah.
And I had this still higher at 4. They both slipped, but this is still 11.
I think you put 7 Wonders last time at 7, didn't you? Ha ha ha.
No, I don't look at the numbers when I arrange them. I only write the numbers in afterwards.
Ah, all right. People's choice for number 11 was just mentioned by Z like a second ago. 7 Wonders Duel. You're the same as the people here.
Interesting.
I thought he'd be more excited than that, but all right. It was...
Woo! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, y'all. I'd like to thank my lawyer. I want to thank the Academy. Let me not forget the Academy.
I'm pretty sure that you were like accusing your lawyer of fraud like yesterday when...
I would like to formally apologize for what I said about my lawyer.
So yeah, it was number 11. It was 7 last year, so it also dipped for the people.
Oh,
a
the
little
people are
bit.
so funny. See, they don't do it on purpose.
All right, so yeah, 7 Wonders Duel. Again, that's very, very popular. 7 Wonders.
Already
I know for
happened,
a while
right?
people were like, 7 Wonders is. It was a big argument over whether 7 Wonders played well with 2 or not.
Yes.
Some people made. There was a
short-lived argument. The answer was no.
Well, the 7 Wonders Duel kind of quashed that. Came out, people were like, okay, never mind. Because it was a really. I didn't think they could do drafting well with 2 players. In this game, it really works.
Yeah.
It's not really It's not really drafting though, is it? It's
Yeah,
more
kind of. It's a different way of drafting.
It's more like it's more of a treat than it is drafting.
I would love to see that used in other games, by the way. I think it's a neat concept.
There's Sigil uses it. It's a
What?
little card game.
Sigil.
Oh, okay. All
I've
right,
heard
well,
it
anyway.
said both ways, which threw me off.
11 for the People's Choice's Seven Wonders Duel. All right.
Wow, it's the same as mine. Woo!
Top 10 coming up.
Now we're gonna get to some good games, y'all.
Now, our top 10 list will be next Tuesday. We're going to be doing it live.
What?
One.
Woo!
I have 3 new games in my top 10.
I have one new game.
One is a rising game. In other words, it was lower on my list and it rose.
Okay.
And then 2 brand new games.
And I
have one brand new game.
And
but
those 2 brand new games are from the same company.
There's some pretty good shake-up in here, I'd have to say.
We'll see. I will give no clues, but my list is not the same as last year. That's all I should say. Or even close. So, I wouldn't say it's even close. It's close. But
oh, how Gloomhaven has fallen.
We'll see. See you in a few days. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Have a good one.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.